I might rather be a gargoyle if I can fly, but then I gotta turn to stone during the day. But then if I'm a Ninja Turtle, I gotta live in a sewer. You feel me? So it kinda got some trade-offs. Do gargoyles eat pizza? If gargoyles eat pizza, then I might be a gargoyle. Would y'all rather be a gargoyle or a Ninja Turtle?
Angel Knot.
Salutations to the nations. What's good, Angel Knots? It's your boy Young Sinai. So today we're going to be reacting to video 15 TMNT knockoffs influenced shows that try to cash in on Turtlemania. And it is by the channel Let's Run It Back. That's a dope name for a channel, by the way. But yeah, go ahead and make sure that you sub, man. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs. You feel me? Trying to get my monetization on. I'm also running a contest to win a Trim UI brick. If you sub, the details on how to potentially win that are in the community tab. All right, let's go ahead and get to it.
If you were a kid in the late 80s or early 90s, chances are you were caught up in Turtlemania. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles dominated TV screens, toy aisles, and lunchboxes, becoming
My entire YouTube setup is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
a cultural phenomenon. Naturally, other studios saw dollar signs and scrambled to create their own version of mutant animal heroes. Some of these knockoffs were actually solid.
Let's try to guess who we think who's gonna come up on the list. All right. Battletoads for sure. What's them ones with the shark heads? I cannot remember their name right now. They was pretty cool though. I ain't gonna hold you. Battletoads, shark head dudes. What was they called? I cannot remember. Who else? That's all I can think of off top.
Solid shows, while others were blatant cash grabs. Either way, they flooded the market with anthropomorphic action teams, hoping to replicate the Turtles' success. Today, we're taking
Was it Battle Sharks? Man, I don't know.
a deep dive into some of the most memorable and bizarre TMNT-inspired series that tried to carve out their own niche in the world of extreme, radical, and totally tubular
Street Sharks. That's what it was. Street Sharks.
animation.
You can't make this up.
Street Sharks. If any show screamed blatant TMNT ripoff, it was Street Sharks. Taking the mutant animal plus extreme attitude equal sign success formula to its logical extreme, Street Sharks gave us four muscle-bound, rollerblading, pizza-loving brothers who were transformed.
They love pizza too? Oh no, that's blatant ripoff. They gotta at least love like hamburgers or something. They can't be loving pizza.
Into humanoid sharks by a mad scientist. Much like the Turtles, they had distinct personalities. Ripster was the leader, Jab was the tough guy, Streaks was the cool one, and Big Slamu was the strong, gentle giant. Together they fought against the evil Dr. Paradigm and his mutant sea creatures. Everything about Street Sharks was designed to be extreme, from the ridiculous action sequences to the over-the-top catchphrases like "Jawsome," while it had a solid toy line and ran for 3 seasons.
Street Sharks was pretty cool though. I ain't gonna lie.
It never captured the same charm as TMNT. The show often felt like it was trying too hard to be cool, and the character designs were so exaggerated that it was hard to take seriously. Still, for kids who loved mutant animals and mindless action, Street Sharks was a fun ride, even if it never reached the heights of its inspiration. Extreme dinosaurs.
Wait,
When Street Sharks proved that turning animals into extreme muscle
I never seen this show.
bound warriors could be profitable, the next logical step was dinosaurs. Enter Extreme Dinosaurs, a show that took prehistoric creatures and cranked up the 90s attitude to 11. The series followed a team of genetically altered dinosaurs, T-Bone, Stegs, Bullseye, and Spike, who battled an evil faction of raptors led by the villainous Bad Rap. They weren't just strong, they were extreme, often using their exaggerated dinosaur abilities in completely ridiculous ways, like turning tails into battering rams or spitting acid. The show had all the over-the-top action and cheesy one-liners you'd expect from a TMNT clone, but it leaned more into the sci-fi realm, with alien invaders and futuristic weapons thrown into the mix. While Extreme Dinosaurs had a brief run, it left a lasting.
This show looks, I want to say it looks cool, but I think it's tricking me to feel like it's cool, but it's not cool. Like Street Sharks, that was cool. I don't think this is cool. It's like my brain is like trying to filter through if this is cool or if it's tricking my brain to think it's cool.
Impression, especially with its aggressive in-your-face marketing. The toy line was popular, featuring massive, exaggerated figures that fit right in with the Street Sharks aesthetic. The show itself, however, never quite reached the heights of its predecessor or TMNT. It lacked the charm and humor that made the Turtles work, and instead relied on constant shouting, explosions, and forced 90s lingo. Still, if you were a kid who loved dinosaurs, this show was a dream come true. It was dumb fun, but in an era where everything had to be extreme, it fit right in. SWAT Cats, the radical
Okay, do I remember this? I don't think I remember this one either.
Squadron. While not a direct TMNT ripoff, SWAT Cats definitely borrowed from the Turtles' success, combining anthropomorphic action heroes with a heavy dose of 90s edge. The show followed Chance T-Bone Furlong and Jake Razor Clawson, two vigilante fighter pilots who patrolled Mega Cat City in their high-tech jet, the Turbo Cat. Unlike TMNT, which mixed humor with its action, SWAT Cats took itself a little more seriously, delivering fast-paced, high-stakes battles against a rogues gallery of sci-fi and supernatural villains. The animation was sleek, the action was intense, and the jet fighter sequences were some of the best in 90s cartoons. Despite its cult following, SWAT Cats never reached TMNT-level popularity, likely because it lacked a strong toy line or a marketable hook beyond cool cats flying jets. However, it remains one of the better shows to emerge from the anthropomorphic hero craze. It had solid world building, a distinct aesthetic, and a darker tone that set it apart from the goofier TMNT knockoffs. Unlike some of the more blatant cash-ins, SWAT Cats was a legitimately well-made show that deserved more than the 2 seasons it got.
I mean, it looked pretty cool. You know what I mean? It looked like if you like, I don't want to say if you like Batman, because I mean, Batman is Batman. You know what I'm saying? But it seemed like it would come on like 3 shows before Batman, like trying to like prime you to get ready for Batman. Like first you will watch this, and then you will watch like Darkwing Duck, and then like you watch something else, and then Batman. I knew Battletoads was gonna be on here. Yo, if you haven't seen my video about cartoons that were turned into, I'm sorry, video games that were turned into cartoons, make sure you check that out. Link right here.
Battletoads. If there was ever a video game that screamed, "We want to be the Ninja Turtles," it was Battletoads. The game, released by Rare in 1991, was a blatant attempt to cash in on TMNT's popularity, featuring 3.
It was fun though, and it had its own distinct personality. I mean, even though it was a clone, like I rock with Battletoads for real.
Buff, attitude-heavy Toads, Rash, Zitz, and Pimple, fighting an evil dominatrix called the Dark Queen. It was a tough-as-nails beat-em-up game that gained a cult following, so naturally someone thought it deserved a cartoon. Unfortunately, that cartoon lasted exactly 1 episode before getting scrapped. The Battletoads animated special aired in 1992 and tried to inject the same TMNT-style humor and wacky storytelling. The plot revolved around 3 teenage losers who get transformed into mutant toads and sent to an alien planet to fight evil. It had all the standard TMNT knockoff tropes: goofy one-liners, exaggerated action, and a reliance on extreme 90s slang. But it lacked the charm of the Turtles. The animation was cheap, the writing was weak, and it felt more like a commercial for the game than a genuine attempt at a TV series. Unlike TMNT, which had years of comic book lore to build from, Battletoads felt slapped together, and audiences weren't buying it.
They're so bad, they've got more fur than any turtle ever.
Oh man, Samurai Pizza Cats. So I've never seen this before, but it looks so dope, right? I didn't know it was a TMNT clone, but it looks so dope. And I love cats. Like, this is something I feel like I should watch. Let me know. Should I watch this? Let me know in the comments if I should watch this. Okay. I feel like I want to buy a Samurai Pizza Cats t-shirt despite never seeing the show.
Samurai Pizza Cats. While many TMNT knockoffs tried to be radical and extreme, Samurai Pizza Cats went in a completely different direction, pure chaos. This Japanese anime, localized for American audiences in 1991, followed a team of anthropomorphic cat warriors who fought crime in a futuristic city when they weren't running a pizza shop. Unlike TMNT, which had a solid mix of action and humor.
So see what they did with the pizza? They wasn't eating the pizza, they was running a pizza shop. So they was selling the pizzas to the turtles. Gotcha.
Samurai Pizza Cats leaned fully into comedy, often breaking the fourth wall and making fun of its own premise. The English dub was particularly unhinged, featuring fast-talking dialogue, absurd jokes, and complete rewrites of the original script that made the show feel like a parody of itself. Despite its silliness, Samurai Pizza Cats developed a cult following, largely because it didn't take itself seriously. The action was decent.
I want to see it, man. I love the way they look, for real. Like, I would dress like that. I would dress like a Samurai Pizza Cat if I knew where to get the outfits from.
The characters were fun, and the sheer randomness of the show made it stand out among the sea of TMNT clones.
You telling me you wouldn't wear that fit?
While it never reached mainstream popularity in the US, it remains one of the most entertaining and unique takes on the anthropomorphic hero craze. Lunatics Unleashed. By the 2000s, the TMNT knockoff craze had mostly died down, but WB decided to revive the concept in a bizarre way, with Lunatics Unleashed.
Haven't seen this. I'm glad I didn't.
This show took the classic Looney Tunes characters and reimagined them as futuristic superhero versions of themselves, complete with X-Men style powers and an edgy dystopian setting. Instead of Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and the rest of the gang, we got Ace Bunny, Danger Duck, and their team of crime-fighting extreme versions of themselves.
What in the multiverse is going on here?
The biggest issue with Lunatics Unleashed was that it completely missed what made Looney Tunes fun. Gone were the slapstick antics and clever humor, replaced with generic superhero action and brooding, cool character designs. It was WB's attempt to make Looney Tunes appeal to the Teen Titans crowd, but it ended up being a forgettable mess that alienated longtime fans. While some kids enjoyed it, the show never developed a strong fan base and was quickly forgotten.
There was probably a better way they could have did that. Like, I kind of see what they was going for. It's a cool idea on paper, but it looked very bad.
Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
What the heezy fo sheezy? I ain't never heard of this.
One of the weirder TMNT knockoffs.
Did I just not get any cartoons like on my channels and my local channels? I mean, I feel like I watched a lot of cartoons as a kid. I ain't never heard of no Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa combine mutant animals with Western tropes, giving us a world where humanoid cows acted as lawmen.
See, the cowboy is actually a cow boy, you feel me?
In a sun-scorched frontier town. Created by TMNT comic artist Ryan Brown, the show followed Marshall Moo Montana and his deputies as they fought crime in the Wild West.
Marshall Moo Montana?
While it had some fun ideas, The mix of cowboy action and mutant animals never quite clicked, and the show faded into obscurity.
That's good.
Interestingly, the Cowboys of Moo Mesa actually made a cameo in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fast Forward, proving that even the most forgotten TMNT ripoffs still had some connection to the franchise that inspired them. Despite its short run, Moo Mesa has its fans, but it never had the
Ooh, who's their fans? Are you their fans? Let me know. Are you their fans?
staying power of the Turtles.
Oh, that looks familiar. This looks familiar.
Stone Protectors. If you've ever wondered what would happen if Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Troll Dolls had a bizarre mutant
I remember this.
baby, look no further than Stone Protectors. This show tried to combine the action-packed mutant animal formula of TMNT with the cutesy, collectible appeal of Troll Dolls, resulting in a team of rock musicians turned into stone-powered warriors. The heroes, Cornelius, Chester, Maxwell, Angus, and Clifford, gained magical gemstone powers after an encounter with an alien princess, leading them to battle the evil Zoc and his minions. Despite its blatant attempt to cash in
on
multiple trends at once, Stone Protectors failed to make an impact. The animation was subpar, the evil Zoc and his powers after an encounter with Chester, Maxwell, Angus, and Clifford, gained magical gemstone powers after an encounter with an alien princess.
Yo, she low-key looked like the villain from Battletoads. Do she not?
Leading them to battle the evil Zoc and his minions. Despite its blatant attempt to cash in on multiple trends at once, Stone Protectors failed to make an impact.
It said we're gonna hit all the trends, get all the money, and ain't got nothing.
Animation was subpar, the character designs were uninspired, and the mix of action and goofy humor never quite gelled. It didn't help that the toys, which were meant to rival TMNT and Battle Trolls, never caught on.
I think I liked those toys as a kid. I think I liked those. I think I like this show. I don't really remember it too much, but I feel like I watched this.
The show barely lasted a season before being forgotten, proving that not every mutation experiment could strike gold.
Oh,
Biker Mice from Mars.
Yo, that has a great Super Nintendo game.
One of the most successful TMNT knockoffs, Biker Mice from Mars managed to carve out its own niche rather than just being another blatant ripoff. The series followed three humanoid biker mice, Throttle, Moto, and Vinny, who escaped their war-torn home planet.
I would argue, is something considered a TMNT knockoff just because it's a humanoid animal and it's a collective? Because Biker Mice from Mars, I mean, I feel like they even with that name, they tried to do as much as they could to not be affiliated with the Turtles. They're bikers, they're mice, and they're from Mars. You feel me? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are ninjas, turtles from New York.
And landed on Earth, where they fought against the evil Plutarchians, a race of greedy, resource-stealing aliens. Instead of ninjutsu, these guys relied on motorcycles, big guns, and heavy metal attitude to take down their enemies.
Yeah, see, I feel like even that, can it really be considered a knockoff? It's not doing a one-for-one, but trying to be unique. Something could be inspired by something and not be a knockoff. Just like a lot of the games where they call them like Pokemon clones or Pokemon knockoffs, just because it's inspired by Pokemon like Koromon, that doesn't mean it's a knockoff.
Despite its ridiculous premise, Biker Mice from Mars had solid action, a fun cast, and a killer soundtrack.
Man, I want a Biker Mice from Mars t-shirt. That mug will go hard. This episode of this show is making me see all of the t-shirts I wish I wanted. I wish I had.
It never reached TMNT's level of popularity, but it had a strong toy line and ran for 3 seasons, proving that it had some staying power. The show even received a short-lived revival in 2006. While it was still very much a product of the TMNT era, Biker Mice stood out thanks to its sci-fi elements and its balance of comedy and action, making it one of the better Turtles-inspired
Yo, that helmet hard.
cartoons.
Now it's time to hit the road.
Road Rovers. Road Rovers was Warner Brothers' attempt to throw their hat into the TMNT-style action team ring,
I ain't seen this, and I'm glad I didn't.
though with a bit more self-awareness. The show featured a group of ordinary pet dogs transformed into humanoid superheroes by a scientist named Professor Shepard. Led by Hunter,
This show looks lame as a mug. I'm sorry if this is your favorite show growing up. I'm sorry. This show looks lame though.
a golden retriever, the team consisted of dogs from different countries, each with their own breed-specific powers and quirks. What set Road Rovers apart was its willingness to poke fun at itself. It had a surprisingly sharp sense of humor, often parodying the superhero and action-adventure tropes it was built on. While the show only lasted one season, it developed a small but dedicated fan base who appreciated its mix of satire and action.
Nah, it just got a bunch of people who love dogs. They got a bunch. The people who watch this show are people who have like dog mom license plate, or they got like a window decal of their family of stick figures, and the dog is on that stick figure. That's the people who watch this show.
Unfortunately, its limited run meant it never had a chance to truly compete with TMNT, but it remains one of the more interesting attempts to capitalize on the mutant hero craze. The Adventures of T-Rex. If you thought Extreme
What am I looking at right now? What in the smooth criminal is going on?
Dinosaurs was the only attempt to mix dinosaurs and superhero antics, think again. The Adventures of T-Rex was one of the more obscure TMNT knockoffs, featuring 5 T-Rex brothers who worked as a rock band by day and crime-fighting masked heroes by night. The show took place in a city called Rep City, where the brothers used their martial arts skills and high-tech gadgets to battle the evil crime boss, Big Boss Graves. Despite its unique premise, the show never really took off. The character
This show look crazy, yo. These do not look like they will be successful superheroes that appeal to kids.
designs were stiff, the action was repetitive, and the whole rock band that fights crime gimmick felt forced. While TMNT managed to balance absurdity with engaging storytelling, The Adventures of T-Rex leaned too heavily into its novelty factor without developing strong characters or memorable villains. It quickly faded into obscurity, serving as yet another reminder that just because you slap martial arts onto anthropomorphic animals doesn't mean you'll create a hit.
We are defenders of the night.
Gargoyles. I remember Gargoyles. Loved it. I don't think that Gargoyles a TMNT clone. Like, nah, that's a bit of a stretch. That's kind of wild calling Gargoyles a knockoff of TMNT. Nah, I refuse to believe it. Gargoyles was sick. Gargoyles, low key. Gargoyles kind of cooler than the Turtles. This from a Turtles fan. You feel me? I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the Ninja Turtles more than Gargoyles, but just like as far as like the cool factor, Gargoyles kind of hard.
We are gargoyles.
Gargoyles. Now, Gargoyles wasn't a blatant TMNT ripoff, but it's impossible to ignore its place in the
Okay. I kind of take back what I said about it being cool, them being cooler than the Turtles. When I say that, I'm only referring to
We are gargoyles.
him, the main character. He looked cool. The rest of them, they do not look cool. I'm sorry. I take the back, Turtles.
Gargoyles. Now, Gargoyles wasn't a blatant
I feel,
TMNT.
yeah, none of them are as cool as Raphael. Like even the leader, or Leonardo, or Michelangelo, or Donatello. I'm sorry, Turtles. What was I thinking? Oh my gosh. I got caught up in nostalgia. Oh my gosh. Let me thumbs down my own video.
Ripoff, but it's impossible to ignore its place in the evolution of anthropomorphic hero shows. while other TMNT-inspired cartoons focused on attitude, catchphrases, and over-the-top action. Gargoyles took a more serious, story-driven approach. The show followed a group of ancient stone warriors who awaken in modern-day New York, forced to adapt to a world that has long forgotten them. Unlike the Turtles, who were known for their humor, Gargoyles leaned into Shakespearean drama, complex characters, and serialized storytelling. What made Gargoyles stand out was its mature tone and intricate world building. It was dark, sophisticated, and filled with deep lore, making it feel more like a serious animated epic than a Saturday morning cash grab. While it didn't rely on the TMNT formula, it undoubtedly benefited from the trend of action-oriented, team-based cartoons that TMNT popularized. It remains one of the most respected animated series of the 90s, proving that not all shows influenced by TMNT had to be.
But low key, would you rather be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or would you rather be a gargoyle? I don't know, man. I might rather be a gargoyle if I can fly, but then I gotta turn to stone during the day. But then if I'm a Ninja Turtle, I gotta live in a sewer. You feel me? So it kinda got some trade-offs. Do gargoyles eat pizza? If gargoyles eat pizza, then I might be a gargoyle. But then I don't know martial arts. So I don't know. Would y'all rather be a gargoyle or a Ninja Turtle? Now we showed you like more. Which one would you rather be?
Cheap knockoffs. Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go.
Oh, that's a long name.
By the early 2000s, the TMNT knockoff craze had mostly died down, but Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go proved that the
Super Robot Monkey Team Hyper Force Go. Okay. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay. How many syllables is that? Sue? We ain't finna do that.
formula still had life. Airing on Jetix in 2004, this
I ain't never seen this or heard of this.
show combined anime-inspired visuals with a team of anthropomorphic heroes. The series followed Cairo, a regular boy who stumbles upon a team of robotic monkeys in a hidden lab and accidentally activates them, becoming their leader. Together, they form the Hyperforce and battle the evil Skeleton King in a futuristic cityscape. What made Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go stand out from earlier TMNT clones?
Ooh, how he say that fast? Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. Super Monkey Robot Team Hyperforce Go. Super Monkey Robot Team Hyperforce Go.
Was its blend of Western action cartoons and anime-style storytelling. It had an overarching plot, character development, and some surprisingly dark themes for a show with Monkey Team in the title. While it never reached the popularity of TMNT or even Biker Mice from Mars, it gained a dedicated fan base and ran for 4 seasons. It was a solid attempt at revitalizing the anthropomorphic action.
It looks interesting. I kind of like it. I kind of like it. I don't know. I've never seen it before. Have y'all seen this? Is this a dope show?
Team genre, even if it never fully broke into mainstream pop culture. Kung Fu Dino Posse. If extreme dinosaurs and
I haven't seen this either. What year? What year did this come out? Like, what was I? Was I in high school not watching some of this anymore? Like, what?
and Kung Fu Panda
A lot of dinosaur stuff, that's for sure.
had a baby, it would be Kung Fu Dino Posse. This lesser-known 2009 series followed a group of ancient dinosaurs who were awakened in the modern world and used their martial arts skills to battle the evil Score, a T-Rex with plans for world domination. The show followed the typical TMNT knockoff structure. Each hero had a unique personality. There was an emphasis on teamwork.
Oh man, if you got one of your characters got nunchucks, it's 4 of y'all, and one of you got nunchucks. That just screams the turtles. You know what I mean? Nunchucks, really? Not saying that, people can't use. Well,
And the villains were mostly goofy but still dangerous. Unfortunately, Kung Fu Dino Posse didn't have much to offer beyond its premise. The animation was low budget, the action was underwhelming, and the humor felt forced. It tried to bring back the TMNT style formula for a new generation, but by 2009, audiences had moved on. Without a strong toy line or memorable characters, it quickly faded into obscurity. While it had some appeal for younger kids, it never made an impact like TMNT or even Street Sharks.
Mighty Ducks, I remember this. This was a clone?
Mighty Ducks, the animated series. One of the more bizarre attempts to capitalize on the TMNT craze, Mighty Ducks took the name of the popular hockey franchise and turned it into a sci-fi action
That was a movie too.
Cartoon about anthropomorphic alien ducks fighting an intergalactic war. Instead of focusing on a team of
Well, not the cartoon, but you know, the Mighty Ducks, that was a movie.
human kids playing hockey, the show introduced a group of warrior ducks from planet Puckworld who were stranded on Earth while battling the evil Dragonus. When they weren't fighting crime, they played professional hockey. Because why not? Despite its ridiculous premise, Mighty Ducks actually had solid animation and decent action sequences. It leaned heavily into the superhero angle, making it feel more like Gargoyles than TMNT. But it still followed the familiar formula: team-based action, a mix of humor and serious moments, and a catchy theme song. While it only lasted one season, it developed a cult following, mostly because of its unique world building and surprisingly well-done storytelling. It's one of the stranger TMNT-inspired shows, but for those who gave it a chance, it was a fun ride. Looking back, it's clear that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles didn't just inspire a few imitators. It launched an entire subgenre of anthropomorphic action teams. Some, like Biker Mice from Mars and Gargoyles, managed to stand out with strong storytelling and world.
Wow, now that I think about it, I guess is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like the first, I'm going to butcher this word, anthropomorphic animal, I guess superheroes. Yeah. I mean, they're not the first anthropomorphic animals. Obviously, you got Mickey Mouse and all of those, you know, Bugs Bunny and them, but I guess like fighting crime.
Building. Others, like Stone Protectors and Kung Fu Dino Posse, felt like desperate cash grabs that never found an audience. Even into the 2000s, shows like Super Robot Monkey Team Hyperforce Go kept trying to tap into that formula, proving that the TMNT blueprint still had appeal long after Turtlemania had cooled down. Before we wrap up, I want.
All right. Yo, so that was a great video. You could tell he did a lot of research. I have not heard of the majority of those shows. I love the Ninja Turtles though. I definitely want to take a look at, I cannot remember what it's called, but the Pizza Cats, Samurai Pizza Cats. I think that's what it's called. I want to take a look at that. I've been wanting to check that out for a while now. All right, yo, let me know in the comments, would you rather be a Ninja Turtle or a Gargoyle? I'm pretty sure Turtle's going to win, but I'm very curious as to what you guys would choose. Also, like I said, please make sure that you sub. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get to my first 1,000 subs in order for me to be able to get monetized. But yeah, if you sub, make sure that you go to the community tab and then you can see how to potentially win a Trim UI brick. All right, y'all. God bless and salutations to the nations. Peace.
Angel Knot.